All right, I made it. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Tarot Time Sarma. Again, running a couple minutes late. More technical issues. When does Mercury go direct? Oh, in about a little over a week. Anyway, welcome to Tarot Time. If you're watching as a video, we'll get started in just a minute. This is kind of our community time also, so we'll be saying some hellos, kind of interacting with the group, doing some tarot work. So we do a meditation card, a 3-card spread for the week. I've got other oracle decks, and we'll do some transmission work, probably for peace and healing, because we're kind of in that energy and in that vibe. And at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we are going to do another yoga class with Doreen of Children's School of Yoga, who is right over here. So she's on today. Running a little late. Yeah, I guess I was running a little late. Happy daylight savings time also. First tarot time of daylight saving time. That's always interesting. So let me see. Hello, Vikash. Hi, Carla. Yay, yoga. Yay, yoga. A good, it's evening from India. Wow. It's got to be pretty late in India now, right? Late in the evening. Karen Suga. Yeah, Venus Saturn's conjuncts. Saturn and Neptune are still in a pretty tight conjunction also, all at the beginning of the sign Aries. Jupiter goes direct in a couple of days. And what else is going on astrologically? Karen, what else is going on astrologically? I'm just happy that I got up this morning. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Colleen. Oh, my timing's perfect. Okay. So we're on medium channel time, somewhere in between daylight time and standard time. We're kind of in the transition here. So anyway, yeah, so that Venus, yeah, that's a Venus and Neptune are very resonant with each other. In fact, some say that Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, but Saturn kind of puts this sort of a checking energy into that. It's like, yeah, Venus kind of wants to love and open the heart and be a little bit frivolous. Neptune wants to expand into the higher realms, into the intuition, and Saturn's like, nope, get to work, right? It's like, we've got work to do. And of course, we're talking, well, I mean, the angles, it doesn't matter if we're doing sidereal or Vedic, sidereal/Vedic astrology, or what I'm used to is tropical astrology or Western astrology. So the angles are the same. The only thing is in Vedic astrology, these alignments are in the sign Pisces or in the constellation Pisces rather than the sign of Aries. But anyway, hello, I'm Trish. Moon is approaching third quarter. Yes, so Moon's in its trine, I think, today. So it's going to approach the third quarter, which means we've got a very powerful new moon coming up right around the equinox. So the time of balance is going to be a huge shift coming up to next week. And what else is going on? Jupiter goes direct, and there's something else I can't think of. Mercury goes direct also. I forgot what day, but that's right around the equinox also. So equinox, as you'd expect, is a transition point, but this year, a big transition point. And obviously there's a lot going on geopolitically. You know, if you blink, you miss something in today's world. One of the general predictions for March was things are going to be really, really intense. And the first week has failed to disappoint on that level. We're starting the second week of March today. What surprises? Why did George Bush pop up in my mind? I wonder, that'd be W. Obviously, that'd be George W. I wonder if he's going through something with his health or Barbara is. That's interesting why he came up. Maybe he'll be on the news. All right, so let's see what else you guys saying. Mercury direct on the 20th, right? So it's right on the equinox. Yeah. I got a haircut. Yeah, that was last Sunday. After tarot time, I took my sitters clip. Then I did a live stream at 7 that night. So yeah, Energy is off. Yeah, the energy is very, very crazy, very up and down. Yeah, I didn't really sleep much last night. When I the time I did sleep, I slept well, but it's only a few hours, and then I got up at 8:30, which is really 7:30, because I'm so used to standard time. So I'm drinking the hard stuff, black tea. So are we coffee, tea, or caffeine free? And let's do a meditation card in a minute. Oh, thank you. So what's terrible, Karen? I'm sorry. Um, so George Bush was invited to Obama's library opening. Why am I not surprised that Donald Trump was not there? Yeah. Um, yeah, again, we're not going to bash in any politician. Just point out that this divide is just getting really ridiculous already. I mean, in a way, the more ridiculous it gets, the more people are going to wake up and realize that we're being played. Basically, that the same powers run both parties and kind of keep everybody on this treadmill of like, we're right, you're wrong. We're in the know. You're programmed, and it's like, all right, let's we all want the same thing. We want global politics to work, right? We want to be free. We want to live a good life. We want the economy to be good. We want to work on solving our differences to maybe end the wars. We all want the same thing, right? So, but we have different ideologies, right? So that's fine. When I go into my political rants, I try to point out that it's good to have an opinion. But just not to take it too far to understand that part of the division it is programmed, right? But that said, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, right? No, yeah, right. No red, no blue, just people. Purple, right? We're the purple people. Like that old Native American meme that was coming up a while ago. That was just saying, "What if I told you that the right wing and the left wing belong to the same bird?" And of course, I add a little snippet to that. What if the right wing and the left wing belong to the same dirty, corrupt bird? Well, they do, right? And a lot of them are related, right? Like the royal families are all relatives. A lot of the politicians are related. A lot of the wars come up that just happen to be maybe a certain country's not on Rothschild's banking system or something like that. So there is a globalist agenda that's on top of the umbrella or beneath the umbrella. Anyway, we have spirit, God, or source, the unifying field. We can go into our hearts. We can kind of rise above the divide and maybe even leverage it for positive change, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how we're programmed into it that's bad and negative. We should like rather than think the other side is stupid, maybe we should listen to the other side and kind of come together and see where our commonalities are and where our differences are, and maybe debate through it and understand each other better, right? So when I was younger, I mean, I grew up a Democrat. I vote independent now because I really am not aligned to either party or this political system. And we used to debate. We used to have healthy debates about politics, not like knock down, drag out fights like we do today. Um, at the end of the day, Republicans and Democrats didn't necessarily agree, but it wasn't as hostile, right? So anyway, here we are. What are you guys saying before we go into the tarot? Hey, Bubble Bree, we are all one. Hello, Jake or Susan or whatever your name is today. Yep. Hello, Bubble Bree. Yes, we'll say hi to Bubble Bree officially. Purple people, yes. No red, no blue, just people. Yeah. The dodo. The dodo. Is that a song by Genesis? Dodo. um. Jake, joke, Jake. I thought that said joke. No, it says Jake. Yeah, today's my cleanup day. It's also yoga day, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yoga with Doreen. All right, all right. Let's get into some tarot. Let's do a meditation card, and we'll see. We'll let the tarot guide our conversation moving forward, as well as your um, comments. All right. As soon as somebody mentions Pink Floyd, like, what Pink Floyd? We're us. And then there's also a Peter Gabriel song with a similar then called "Not One of Us." And one of the lines is, "A foreign body and a foreign mind is not welcome in the land of the blind. You may talk like we do, walk like we do, but you know how it is. You're not one of us, not one of us." From his third solo album. All right, meditation card. um, so if you need to go back to yoga, you can tune in at 5 o'clock. Today Eastern time, or it'll be or watch the replay later. And Colleen's telling about a beautiful man in military that was close friend and neighbor with my son-in-law was killed in Kuwait. So sorry to hear that. Such loss. So he was killed recently, or is this in like Desert Storm or another military? Former New York Police Department, 6 children. So sad. It's like the wars are planned, right? And I had that vision a while back where, and I thought I was like seeing a vision of diplomats getting together to solve wars, and in the vision they were planning the wars. I was like, really? WTF? And this was actually a while ago, because this was sort of early on in the latest chapter of the Russia-Ukraine war or conflict. This must have been around 2022, 2023 when I had that. And it was like, I kind of knew that intellectually, but to have that kind of a vision. Hello, Victor. Welcome. Welcome. So it's kind of interesting. You're not one of us. Yeah, that's all Peter Gabriel classic. From the same album that brought us the song Biko, about Bantu Stephen Biko, who was killed in police room 619 on the Elizabeth, what was that called? I forgot the line on that, but anyway, but he was an apartheid activist killed in 1977. And then we're coming up to April 4th, right? Martin Luther King's anniversary of his assassination, but also comet C2026. Wait, let me get this right. C/2026 space A1. I'm sounding like I'm an AI channel now. That's going to pass within 100,000 miles of the sun, like right through the sun's corona, going to screech through the sun. And the sun's been pretty quiet, right? But the Ranger cycle, that's a kind of a shorter solar cycle, not the 11 to 11 and a half year sunspot cycle, is going to be at max then. And then you have a large comet grazing the sun, and comets have electromagnetic homers around them, and the sun's corona is electromagnetical and really, really freaking hot, like 10 times hotter than the surface of the sun. So what's going to happen? There's likely to be some sunspot activity, some solar flares. We'll see if that indeed manifests, and then if it's Earth directed, it may shoot off the opposite side of the sun, because the comet kind of screeches around the sun and then orbits back into the where's this one? That trans-Neptunian or Oort-Belt comet? I don't even know. But anyway, they call them sun grazer comets. We had one, Lovejoy, in 2011. And if it survives its passage through the sun, it may be visible in the daytime after the 4th of April, once it gets a little bit of distance, maybe right before. I don't know if it's going to be right after sunset or right before sunrise, but if it survives, we may get a beautiful comet in our skies for a little while in April. But all this energy in April, something big's bound to happen. Um, and so much so I did a whole video on it, which some of you guys saw. I dropped that one yesterday on April the 4th. So anyway, so our meditation card for the week, big week ahead. I don't know why they're just saying big week ahead. And I'm feeling my chest. So as always, be in the heart center, the unifying field. I don't know why, who Ziegler is. That name just popped up in my mind. Interesting that we get a core card for meditation, the Queen of Rods. So it's kind of like, in a way, like the queens are water, or although some tarot readers attribute the element of earth to the queens. To me, it feels water, it feels right to me. But the wands or rods are fire, so it's kind of like the yin and the yang, basically. So with these meditation cards, what we do, or what I recommend anyway, like any meditation, you relax your body and you stop your thoughts, right? You're aware of your breath, body, space around your body, focusing on nothing. So that's basic foundational meditation practice. But from there, be aware of what you're feeling in your mind. Step into the card. As soon as you step in, be aware of what you're feeling, not intellectually, but just be open and aware. How do you feel a little different? And then what do you see? What do you hear, smell, taste? What do you know? This could be a spirit guide. Maybe talking about balancing in the divine feminine more. Maybe we need that because war and conflict is a very kind of masculine energy, right? I mean, that's one way of looking at it anyway. That's just perspective or perception. But whatever the case, the feminine tend to be more of the intuitive, more the receptive energy, where the divine masculine tends to be more like more active and physical energy. And I just feel like this is an important guide for us that has a message, and basically around what affirmative actions that we can take also, because a lot of people they see the injustices in the world. I mean, part of the media's job is to distract people and to point people's attention in a certain area, and it can be a lot of smoke screens also. But it tends to be something that we see what's going on in the world. We're aware of the suffering, and of course, a lot of people that come to the medium channel, a channel like ours, are empathic and intuitive people to begin with. So we're kind of like, I need to do something. Like, the world's in shambles. What should I do to make a difference? But if you go into the heart, your actions are going to be inspired from spirit, not based on the discomfort of fear or seeing the suffering. So it's a different way. So a lot of times I'll tell people, the solution is really going within and connecting more with source and raising your vibration, and that helps to raise the collective. But then people that are upset or angry, that upsets them more. It's like, well, you can't meditate this problem away. People are dying, and I get that's absolutely true. But if you're approaching things from that perspective, it's more like the fear or separation mindset. So your actions are going to be limited because it's going to be in that realm. So if you go within and raise your consciousness and go into the heart, then spirit's going to let you know what divine action on the physical to take that's going to be effective in your life and in the world around you. I think that makes sense, right? Good morning, Carlisa Johnson. And happy birthday. Happy birthday, Victor. So you're Piscean, or today's International Women's. I thought that was March 8th. I think that's March 8th, but if I'm incorrect, thanks for sharing that. Wait, help. All right. Daylight savings time is kicking my butt. Hello, today is March the 8th. Hello, happy International Women's Day. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Oh my goodness. More tea, more tea. Oh God. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, I'm a little bit red. Okay. Let's do a 3 card spread for the week for International Women's Day. What else is it other than March 8th, the beginning of daylight savings time, International Women's Day? Which means I have to post somewhere another Peter Gabriel song called "Shaking the Tree." But one of the lines in that, it's your day, it's Women's Day, it's a little bit of a later song. All right. So anyhow, so I need to clear my mind. I'm seeing soldiers. Though I'm seeing soldiers. I mean, I don't know if that means that during the coming week, if there's going to be some ground action. Also, I know a lot of this has been airstrikes. Certain experts are thinking that U.S. and Israel are going to wind up losing this war, which is interesting perspective. I mean, right now, it's all air operations and everything. Okay. Like seriously, let's not call it a war. Let's call it a let's see another word. An aberration. No, that's not the right word. Anyway, a reset. And there's another Peter Gabriel song. This is Peter Gabriel Day, right? Called "Gains Without Frontier," which was actually a single back in the day, and just really about the silliness of war, but it's not silly because people are dying. So anyhow, clearing my mind. It's interesting. Can you kind of show me this image of like old ships going to new lands? So I think this is really about we're still in Pisces season. In fact, we're right around the midpoint of Pisces now. I think that was like the 6th was the midpoint. So about 16 degrees today. Anyway, right in the middle. So the Pisces is tend to be more internal energy, especially with Mercury retrograde, which brings the energy more internal. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings. This should be a very interesting week. So the cards that we got, the Ace of Pentacles, the Emperor reversed, then the Justice card. I wonder if this is talking about a new dump of the Epstein files or new insights that are going on. In fact, yes, I saw something yesterday where some new things were released based on FBI interviews or investigation with some of the alleged victims of Epstein that were somehow magically not included with the first dump of it. And then it was kind of describing, some of the things that allegedly Donald Trump did and Epstein and whatever with certain victims. And of course, they're saying, well, that's not evidence, just people saying what they're saying, but that's not evidence, and so forth. But, evidence or not, the more information that comes out, the more people get it. And, we just need to know the truth to be able to, because otherwise society's stuck. And I know because I tend to have more nonpartisan views about things, and that's what I project. We get people that are on both sides of the political spectrum here on the Medium channel, which is great. I like that. But I think what we can agree on, no matter what your belief is or who you support, we all want justice. If Donald Trump is guilty, let's prove that. If the Clintons are guilty, let's prove that, right? So, and again, why on earth there's not a bipartisan or nonpartisan investigation of the president of the United States is just, to me, game, and it's to me anyway. Yeah, I may not be correct, and the reason I'm saying that is that there's enough evidence. It's circumstantial, yes, but there's enough evidence to warrant an investigation. That doesn't mean that he's guilty or not guilty, but there's enough evidence to warrant that. I mean, 5,000 mentions in the files, second or third to Maxwell and Epstein. Donald Trump's name allegedly, from what I've heard, comes out mostly. So to me, and some of the allegations or the accusations, to me, warrants a real investigation into that. But the DOJ is Trump loyalists. It's all Republicans. The House is Republican. The Senate's Republican, right? And you can bet if Donald Trump is still president come November or the months leading up to that they will do everything in their power to make sure that they stay in power, because if not, then things could change, and the investigations could happen. So anyway, that's the justice card. It's about balance. It's about fairness. It's about legality. The emperor reversed, right? The emperor has no clothes. That's kind of been a line lately. It's like, look, mommy, the emperor has no clothes. It's like, once people wake up and start to question things, it's all going to change. Now, I wonder if the Ace of Pentacles, because that's about beginnings around money. So let me vibe on that for a second. I'm going to see what you guys are saying in a second also. I think on one hand, there's some change in the strategies or the progression of the wars or the conflicts. It might be other countries getting involved, Russia, North Korea, versus South Korea. No, I think it'd be North Korea, China. And that would be more, in Iran. And we talked about. I had that vision about a large group of people guarding certain areas, and then people were commenting. Well, probably what I was seeing, what they were saying is people guarding the 10th Stargate. I have to research more of that material, because I know Iran has a lot of like ET energy. It's Persia. Iran and Iraq is Persia. A lot of ancient ruins. And one of the things that came up, and that was in the video I released before the one I released yesterday, was sometimes things get destroyed under the guise of war, and that's what happened in Alexandria. I mean, the library in Alexandria was hit more than once, I think 3 or 4 times. And it's like, oh, there was a war, and they accidentally destroyed 2/3 of the library that had all this ancient secret knowledge that was passed down from extraterrestrial sources and higher intelligences. But our weapons just accidentally destroyed that, basically. So it's like, whoops, we dropped a bomb. Oh, that wasn't a nuclear site. That was an ancient ruin that had evidence of extraterrestrials, right? So anyway, we know the game, right? People that come to channels like this know what the game is, right? And in a way, this looks like a bomb. It almost looks like there's a little explosion. It's round. I mean, there's a pentacle, which is Earth, but it's also about manifestation. It's an important symbol in Wicca neo-paganism for manifesting. The interesting symbol, because it's spirit at the apex, earth, air, fire, water, and the circle's like the continuation of life, basically. So it's a symbol of life and magic. So I think somebody's falling. It seems like it'd be too soon for that to be Trump, but it could be other. Watch Netanyahu the next coming weeks. Um, and speaking of like Rothschilds, I mean, I'm a Bernstein. You know, that's my lineage is Judaism, at least on my dad's side. To me, the state of Israel is not Israel, and you know, truth be told, Israel's part of Palestine, also, but it is the Holy Land also. Um, so I think this is going to be a pretty busy week of a lot of questioning of certain authority figures and protocols or the way things are done. It's interesting. Tulsi Gabbard came out up on my mind, and she was very well back in the before the first attack in 20, yeah, when the first bombing in Trump's first term. You know, she you know, love her or hate her, she was definitely speaking out against that, from what I understand. Anyway, I mean, I don't know a lot that goes on. Yeah, yeah, these are very powerful cards. Yeah, there could be some decision made on the money front or the financial front, but a lot of change also. So hello, Betsy. Welcome. Also something with the Stargate in Iran too. So that's what we were talking about. So maybe uh, um, I'm sure you're right, Nathan. Yep, absolutely. And what's about Hillary? And Hillary Clinton says the lawyers always look for a pattern of behavior. That's right. I think that's true. You know, everything's in the patterns. And somebody saying "Happy birthday, Victor," and "Happy Women's Day." Yes. Now that I know, now that I realize it's the 8th of March, and it is indeed all the conjunctions. Yeah, Saturn, not Mercury. Well, Mercury and the Sun were conjunct yesterday, so Mercury made its what's called its inferior conjunction. So when Mercury when Mercury's retrograde in the conjuncts, that's the closest point of Mercury to the Earth. And Mercury's actually, it's not in the sun's coma, but it's certainly within its I want to say heliosphere, but what I'm trying to say, it's magnetosphere or it's ionosphere. If we had active sunspots, if we had them, they'd probably be firing off now, you know, because of Mercury's influence. Um, all the conjunction. Yeah, and then we have Saturn and Neptune and Venus joining the conjunction, and we have that 6 planet alignment through mostly through Pisces and Aries. So yeah, yeah. So this reminded me. Today's March 8th. I'm like, oh yeah, lots of red. I'm sure she has. What do we say? One of the predictions for March, although to be fair, that was also one of the predictions for February, was somebody's going to either be dismissed in the cabinet, fired, or resigning. I think there's more to that, and obviously that happened with her friend Noam, or is it Noam? How does she spell it? Nome? Oh no, it's Noem. We're not taking sides. No, no, not us. uh, yeah, lots of red, right? Lots of red. Oh, lots of red in the card. That's interesting. Good observation. Yeah, and that's how tarot works. You know, what do you notice? Because that's your intuition. Red is energy, right? Red could also be more Republican stuff, right? If it's that kind of red, it's fire, uh, and stuff like that. Hello, Emmy. Maybe Bond. Yeah, Pam Bondi. That's that. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Yeah, and Emmy, welcome. And she's having a hard time. I'm in the USA. Yeah, we'll call it a reset, right? And hi Overlander, and do you see and changes in leadership in Canada anytime soon? You know, what comes to me is not soon, but towards the summer that could change. I feel like the alliances change. I don't know what that means. But it may have something to do with I want to say Trump stepping down, but you know, this whole conjecture until it happens, because it's something that's been on my radar since last April. Although my prediction, even before he got elected, was he'd get elected, and then but it would only be about 2 years he'd be in power, so that would still take it to early 2027. But the way the timelines can shift, it could be sooner, like it could be April, like this April. So we'll see how that all works. Mercury Mars is conjunct on the 15th, so thank you for that also. Yeah, Mercury's making the rounds. That's okay. You're forgiven because it's the first day of daylight time, right? So it's hard to do anything, right? All right, so let's do a few other things. So we're actually going at a better pace than I usually do today, and I'm working on it. Yeah, we talked about when I assume we're talking about number 47 when we talk about this felon leaving, convicted felon at that. I mean, a lot of people on the other side will argue, well, he's innocent. Well, by the law, he's a convicted felon. If I was a convicted felon, I couldn't work at Walmart, even a gas station, probably, unless I was buddied with the owner, right? But with 34 felonies, Donald Trump was allowed to be on the ballot for the United States presidency. What's that? Oh, right. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes. It's like, it's just like people are so, I don't want to say brainwashed, because people, but programmed. I mean, it's not their fault. It's like that's how programming works. It's the same input day after day, week after week, month after month. We start to assimilate that programming, and if it's our own choices and our own beliefs. It's just the way the mind works. It's not anybody's fault, but it's time to understand that we can transcend that. And how do we do that? We go into the heart and we cultivate the frequencies of the heart. Hearts cannot be programmed. Only the mind can, and hearts are stronger than minds. So if you cultivate the heart, the brain and the heart connect, that's heart-brain coherence, and then you become resistant to the programming, even the frequency programming that we're all subject to, even that level, because it's electromagnetic. The heart's a powerful electromagnetic generator. You make the heart stronger, your fields get stronger. Guess what? The electromagnetic stuff doesn't affect you as easily or as much when you do that. That's a great thing to know in this day when we have so much electromagnetic, low radio wave, high microwave electromagnetic fields around us. I've got a computer, I've got a Wi-Fi, I've got a phone here. I'm in this field of electromagnetic energies that affects my fields, it affects my body. But if I do my heart-brain coherence and I strengthen the heart, I become resistant to that because my fields are stronger, basically. So there are reasons that I was telling people that the 2020s, that heart-brain coherence is going to be one of the most, if not the most important spiritual practice, or a practice that has the same effects. There's other ways of cultivating the heart than doing heart-brain coherence. There's breath techniques, there's yoga techniques, and by the way, for those that got on later, Yoga at 5 with Doreen today on the Medium channel. And that's what we want. Then we become more resistant to the program. Then we start to see through it. And with me, I was 19. I had the experience where I got the flash of light, and in an instant, I knew everything that I thought was real was a lie. Everything I learned was a lie, and my spiritual journey began then. And then I found a teacher, my martial arts teacher, who was a Panther Party member. They got called the Black Panther parties by the media, according to him anyways. So he knew a lot about politics, about the agenda. They called it the grand plan back then, but we talked about all that stuff. All of it that's coming out now. So I think Spirit groomed me for this role, even though I'm just a small YouTuber. There's still an influence that we're having with people. So anyhow, on that note, Um, let's do a Native American card. Okay. I don't have to. It just so happens that there's one card that flipped over. So Spirit chose it, and it says victory. So we're I think they want to know, stay in the heart, keep doing your spiritual work. We will at the end be victorious. The light always wins in the end. The darkness teaches us. We need that. We need that for our growth right now, because we're in a dualistic mindset. In the physical reality cannot exist without duality. There has to be opposites. So once we understand that all opposites are the same and the light can assimilate the dark, then we transcend that, right? So this is also the Six of Wands. Let me see. I'll bring this back to you guys in a second. And it looks like they have a lot of weapons, right? But it's a victory. And in classic tarot, the Six of Wands is the card of victory after strife or after challenge, like overcoming. So this is really about like adding this energy, overcoming. The more people that awaken, the more we're going to see positive changes in the governments in the world. Now, granted, the control systems are very dense and very powerful. It's going to take more than a few thousand people awakening, but if tens of millions do, and we're going to tip those balances. So it starts one person at a time. We're doing this on YouTube. I don't think Josh is in right now. I know Victor of Truth Waves in, and he does very peaceful meditations on his channel. And we like to connect our communities into one broader community. So any of you guys that are doing work on YouTube to help raise the collective, please let us know where to find you on the chat here. So let's move on. Let's do the totem animal of the week. Let me go into a couple of comments, and we're going to go into the next thing. And you're welcome. So that this is the channel I was talking about, Truth Wave. And then Overlander, I guess you're in British Columbia, BC. Last night I meditated on purpose and realized my role isn't to wake people up, but to help people who are waking up already to transition to their new parent. I love that. Maybe that's my role also. I mean, I'm not going to go to doors down, open the door, wake up, right? That's not my style, but it's kind of like Field of Dreams. I'll build it and they'll come, right? And I mean, I've 38. Is it 38,000 subscribers? But out of 38,000 subscribers, there's maybe 1,000 or 2,000 followers. The rest like the video or like the post. Never heard from them again, right? So it's a little misleading, when I say that we're a small channel, like, but you have 38,000 subscribers, like, yeah, but that's misleading, so what else are we saying? Red on top, blue on the bottom. That card, was that? I'm sorry that I put that back in the deck then, but thanks for seeing that. And back to Emmy. Some people predict that around the summer we will lose our internet. It can happen. And that's been sort of on the table for a while. And I think a time's going to come where that's going to happen. It's hard to say when, but if Spirit gives me, as I would say, to watch April, because it's very intense with the comet. C 2026 A1 comet making its perihelion on April 4th, about less than half the distance from the sun to the moon, to totally in the sun's corona. That changes the electromagnetic, that excites the sun. There could be major solar flare, but I also think there's going to, I'm sorry, I was going to read this comment. He was appointed by the people who choose the elections. That's just the way it goes, right? We think our vote matters, and maybe locally does, but naturally they always pick them. And I think what they do, I mean, it's still a vote. I mean, it's manipulated, but they do, let's just say, guided. And I agree. I don't think there's been a fair election for a long time, and I do think it's chosen. So I agree. Hello, Laura. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Laura of the Lakeside. So let's do a next thing on the agenda. Uh, AI. I feel AI will be killed if. And Mary's here. Hi, and Felicia's here. Hi, Felicia. Hi, MDR. Um, and hello, the botanist. So we had a wave of people coming in, and a wave of people leaving. And I feel very peaceful today. And my video's buffering. That could mean that my video is going to go out soon, that might be the first step. I feel peaceful today. Yeah, I feel peaceful enough considering that there's strife all around. I mean, I did a nice hour, close to an hour of meditation this morning. Maybe that helped. Usually I do at least a half hour anyway, so that's normal. Also, I've got my green background back, so we since it's March, we ditched the snow motif, and now I have a green backdrop for spring. uh, Yeah, AI threats. Yeah, AI is a very, very interesting thing and topic. Also, um, at some point, I'll do another video on that. What do we have to say about AI now? I feel like Spirit Saint's kind of running amok in a way, because AI is programmed, right? We have to train the AI. I mean, the AI functions in a way that it can adapt, but it still has to adhere to its training. And who's training AI? Are the spiritual people that want to see peace on earth, and want to see humanity flourish, and for us to be sovereign and growing? Or is it the ones that want to control everything and want to digitalize currency? And I use this I mentioned this on a video recently, how the censorship is working, and with the desire, AI is a step along the way. That's part of the Stargate project. It's also a globalist agenda. The one that Donald Trump lobbied 3 separate interests for a $500 billion to fund. We're talking about that agenda, the Stargate agenda. By the way, that also is promoting mRNA vaccines combined with AI technology as a cancer treatment also. And right after 47, because that's Trump 2.0 came to office. What are some of the things that happened? Well, cancer funding was cut. Right? It's like, you can't make this stuff up. If you connect the dots, you have a good idea of what's going on. Now, people that are loyal or support Donald Trump will argue, well, he has to do this in order to, for us to be free. Like, in other words, has to be buddy with the globals. Like, yeah, I'm following your agenda. I'm doing what you want, and anybody that's one of the richest people in the world has a connection with the globalists, and the Epstein files prove that, right? Or alleged. It's still alleged, but you know what I'm saying. So that's possible. I don't know for sure, but from what I'm seeing is it's following in these agendas. So but the other side of it is that great corruption can expose great corruption, and we have a president that's widely hated, that's mentioned in the files, and it was known that he had a long-standing friendship with Epstein, and a pretty close one, as it's being revealed. And since people want his head, that puts so much more pressure to release these files, right? Than if a Democrat was in. If Harris was in, I don't think she's in the files. She might be, but people, I mean, a lot of people don't like her, but they don't want her head like Donald Trump. So basically, long story short, is that this influence, all this chaos and all that we're going through is exposing corruption. I mean, whether that's his conscious plan, to me, less likely, or whether that's just divine plan, more likely in my view, and then he's playing a role that way. Either way, society's going to change and people are waking up, right? So I think I explained that in a way that doesn't offend any side, right? I think I did that. Have that Libra diplomacy working here, when we talk about an issue that's so sensitive today. So anyhow, so let's ask Spirit, give us our totem animal, and this is the one. The ant. Ants are patient, right? We got this once or twice before. Ants are also very community. They all have a job, right? You have the workers, you have the queen ant, you have the builders. This is like the bees also. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, I like that. Maybe its job is to be hated. I'm sure that's part of it. I mean, certainly. Maybe he's more intelligent than people give him credit for. Maybe that's all an act. Who knows, right? You wonder, like this going back a ways, but you're wondering how somebody would be a president whose solution to the problems of fires in California. Meanwhile, the globalists are probably setting them, but or some of them, not all of them, but certain ones. Is to clear all the dead wood. But meanwhile, there's 170,000 square miles of rugged woodland in California. How are we going to do that, right? So anyway, that's almost like spraying Lysol or injecting Lysol. It's like to me that kind of screams as a big old act. It's not on the same level. It's almost like Claudius Caesar. It's like everybody thought they could control him, that he was such an idiot. And then when he got into power, he's absolutely ruthless. I mean, I'm not comparing the two, just to be clear, but there's that kind of an energy with that. So anyway, so I think this is a reminder to connect with our communities. Things can happen very quickly. What if the lights went out for months or even a year or two? That could happen if there was a mega flare. To be clear, the Carrington event was not a mega flare. It was a strong, then 1859 that knocked out the telegraph grid, and people actually got electric shocks. The coronal mass ejection was so powerful. If that was to come today with the magnetic field about 15% weaker than it was in 1859, it would obliterate all. There'd be no satellites. There'd be no grid. We'd be not starting over, but it would take probably years to rebuild things. We'd be relying on our communities. We'd have to watch out for people trying to steal things. There might be like the equivalent of tribal wars breaking out. I mean, it's not too soon to think about these things, because somehow the message of the ant is getting me to talk about this, because what Solar Maximum 2025 is demonstrating is that the magnetic field has changed to the point that it's changing the planet. We are in geomagnetic excursion. You could call it whatever, polar shift. I mean, these take a while to happen, but it changes the climate. It shows that things are changing beneath the earth. There are currents in the earth, just like in the ocean and just in the air. It's just solid matter is much more dense. But there's changes in the earth. It changes the earth's magnetic field. And then the ocean responds to it, because water, it's not a strong conductor, but it's a conductor of electricity. So as the earth changes, the currents of the earth affect the ocean currents, and the ocean currents drive climates. Like if the Gulf Stream stopped running, the climate would completely change. If the California current stopped running, it would change. And that's what's happening. So the climate is changing. And human activity is a part of it, but it's the lesser part. The sun and how that affects the earth, that's the greater part, and it affects the earth's magnetic field. So anyway, the solar cycles teach us that the magnetic field's changing. We had moderate, well, a next class flare is a strong flare, but we had moderately strong flares send auroras down to Florida. 20, 30 years ago, that would not be normal. And I think the next solar cycle, 26, that's in the mid 2030 to peak. I think something's going to happen then. I think, but by 2040, we probably won't be living in these houses anymore. It's going to be all different. So it's not too soon to start to think about that and start to connect with our communities. Like I'm in the Hudson Valley. I might want to know who the local farmers are, and I might want to connect with that. I mean, I really want to move to the big island of Hawaii and to ride out the earth changes there, honestly, but whatever happens. And then if we evolve quicker than what I feel, then we can sort of more integrate the changes into mainstream society, not necessarily have to separate out from that. So anyway, there's other dynamics, it's the AI takeover, the transhumanism that people are going to want to do. So there's a lot going on that we have to be aware of. So ant medicine community, patience. That's what that means, is patience. Ants are very patient. We need to be patient with the changes, even though it's uncomfortable. Keep working with the heart. Keep staying in our power. Yeah, that's where I want to move. Hawaii Island. Yeah, I want to be hanging out with Pele. Episode. What episode would it be? It's late. The next episode of Kilauea. It's probably going to happen today or tomorrow because I'm thinking about it. But I think there's a lot. I think it's going to change. There may even be a Mauna Loa eruption or a major earthquake on the island. I think it's going to change in within the next month. So let's do our. It's let me do a couple more things. So this will be our, and then we'll do a little peace and healing transmission at the end. Just looking at your comments. Yes, a lot of people are wishing Victor happy birthday. Is that today? You're born on the 8th. 3/8 is a powerful day. Women's Day. International Women's Day is that. Maybe that's why the Queen of Rods came up with her meditation card. Meditate on her divine feminine aspects also, to bring that out more. People that got on late, you missed a lot, so go back to the beginning. You'll catch it all if you choose. Let me clear my mind a second. So I'm seeing train, I'm seeing supplies. There may be some organized riots that come up over the next couple of weeks, kind of like when back in the day of the Black Lives Matters demonstration, where they actually filmed people wheelbarrowing whatever it was, bricks or whatever, to throw at the riots or something like that. It's like, they want this to happen. It's very distracting. So anyway, dynamic. That's a cool energy. So this is the sacred geometry. What's the name of this? Sacred Geometry Activation Oracle. That's the name of this. Oh, I like this. I love the triangle with the circles. So it has this kind of a look. And what it says is, the frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and joy. So it's a lot about assimilation of the different forces that are working. So it's an interesting energy that we got this week. Sort of a crop circle look. Yeah, exactly. Nathan talking about I love Sion. Did you see my previous comment about New York City? I missed your comment. Comment on a horse trailer. All right, I can't go back, but Yeah, I love the way that looks also. Yeah. Very, very, artistic and creative energy. Yeah. So dynamic. So that's our energy, kind of assimilating all this different energies. Let me do an archangel card, and then let's do a little transmission. And again, because I know people come in and out. So 5 o'clock is yoga with Doreen today. This is Kyle Gray's deck that was a gift to me from Doreen. This is the 22 Archangels Oracle deck of Kyle Gray's. Cyan, color your world. I'm thinking of Chicago saying, color my world. In Cyan, or Cyan, is it? Oh, it's on the card, that color. Okay. All right. I'm seeing an image of Yeshua or Jesus. That's not really an archangel, but that comes up. So that's very divine energy, of course. We got Raguel. So that's what the card looks like. This looks very solar energy to me. And the little caption here is, be open and vulnerable, as this will initiate healing and harmonious resolution. So that's the message. That's the archangel. And again, making the change for freedom. That's what Mary's saying. So that this is a good energy. RGG. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. Oh, I like that 255s. All right. So let's do a transmission now. Somebody saying a transmission would be great. So I work with a group. I know them as the master teachers, and it's an energetic channel that so we lead a process. Maybe they'll talk a little bit about things going on in the world, or things to do, or things to be aware of. But really, what's happening is we're joining energies, and then they're able to affect our collective energy fields, and affect you individually, to help to raise the frequencies, and to increase the intensity and volume of energies. Of course, energy can't be lost or gained. It can only be transformed into different wavelengths of frequency, and different levels of intensity. So that's what we do. Let me just clear my mind a second. Yes, dears, let's get very, very relaxed, and imagine at this time that you are sitting underneath a beautiful pyramid. And on the top of the pyramid, there's an image of an eye, the eye of wisdom, the eye of truth, the third eye, the all-seeing eye. And know that you are that pyramid, that it's around you, that the tip is extending above your crown chakra into your soul and spirit star chakras. The base is beneath your floor, that you are the pyramid, and the pyramid is you. And in the center of the pyramid is your heart. And your heart is a beautiful, glowing sun right now. So hold that image and be in that image. And we will work with you in your higher self to transmit spiritual information that your DNA and higher self understands, through a technique you know of as light language transmission and toning, using various interdimensional patterns of frequency and sound in order to awaken certain aspects of your inner being, so that you may connect with that affirmative action that's going to do the most good, that's not going to feed the fear and the anxiety in your world, but rather to fear the love and the growth and the unity that you are. And at the end of the day, you will come back to that. This is just a blink of the eye in cosmic time. But if you are living it, it seems like eternity, and it seems challenging. And we understand that. So we bring this perspective to you at this time. So just let it all go. Inhale, love and light, and the exhale. Just release. because most of what you carry is other people's energies anyways that stick to your energetic field. As you glow brightly through the heart, you transcend that and come back to your true being and your true power and your true essence, which is light and love and is oneness with source being, spirit or God. Just hold that you're in this pyramid. The sun is in your heart, and the sun shines out the energies of peace and positive growth and light out into the world, into the dimensions, in the multidimensional reality that you exist in. And as you affect the higher dimension, it trickles down to the physical 3D dimension. Just imagine that your energy feels your auras being plugged in symbolically and lighting up your fields now. Beautiful sunshine energy. We are raising the frequencies. This is what we do as the master teachers. Work in the energetic realm of frequency, vibration, wave, as it were, to enhance the particles, so to speak, to charge it with higher energies for your health, well-being, and ascension. Healing the sunshine at the center of your pyramid, center of your heart, expanding, sending light, peace, and healing out into the world, into the collective, into the earth herself, and hold that intention. Echiato shiake mia tionini ama hinshe akohoyo mahum. So sititi abado yana nebe hiki kianda babo yana la wa he omo mama no papa kosia wish you you know moyo you know ya tile you Nice deep breath. Feel the beautiful love and light all around you, funneling like a big infinity sign through your crown, spiraling down your center line, scouring out all stuck energies, all cogs in your energetic field and bodies. As the light spirals down through your center line, through your root, through your feet, through the earth star chakra, the Gaia gateway chakras to the center of the earth. And feeling that light expanding, feeling your roots deep into the ground, into the earth. Be aware of your auric field, your luminous egg that's charged up and brilliant and bright with love, positive energy, growth, expansiveness. You are the world, you are the collective, and you are vibrating the energies that are needed now for the collective ascension, as well as your personal growth. And at the base of your auric field, open the little tailpipe to let any excess staticky or byproducts of this transmission out. Just feeling the warm glow of this ascension energies. Deepen your breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes. And we'll be back for some yoga at 5 Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time. And, leading up to the new moon, we'll have a live stream at some point this week. I don't know when. And trying to get 3 downloads on if I have time, or uploads, if I have time this week. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here, for lending your energetic support and your time, because your time's your life. It's valuable. Thanks for choosing to use it to be here with us. And have a great day, everybody. Signing off.